So this is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I'm just here on my porch, my sunroom, my Florida room. It's outside. It's where I grow all our aroids. I'm obsessed with these plants. I got them to plant out in the orchard floor and also to enjoy in here. I like them in here. I'm very obsessed with these things. I can see why. I see how people spend small fortunes on their collections. It almost caused the end to a long-term relationship of 36 years, and the hoarding of these rare houseplants. But it's okay. So I have a few here that are new. This is Monstera CF obliqua Pangui. And it's very fast grower, super fast, and it gets leaves with the holes in them. Like this is Monstera obliqua Peru, completely different. It's more like Adansonii leaf. But they leaves get big on this too. I see there's a solid leaf here. These are both from Equigenera. This is Monstera sprceana, and this one has palmate leaves, so leaves that are like that. It's Monstera. Who is that? Subpinnata. I'm obsessed with this Monsteras. This is Adansonii, Monstera Adansonii. This is Monstera areopinnata. Put this bark up here to get them to crawl up on top of there. Got a bunch of plants in here. This is a Monstera Chironiae. My favorite begonia. Mirror, I think is what it is. It's a little philodendron micans. Yep, I like them. Anthurium regali. This is one of my favorite plants. I don't know why, but Amidrium medium silver, and it was a little tissue culture that I bought. The tissues started dying. I moved it over towards the sun, and it sent off that leaf, and then this leaf, and then some lizards crawled across it with their sharp toenails that cut the leaf all up. But that's just part of dealing with nature. They like to live on the leaves. I am a little obsessed with these things. That's Philodendron giganteum blizzard, so it's got, variegated leaves. It's Philodendron josebuano. I bought all these very small, very inexpensively, well, compared to how they were. I think the only plant I paid big bucks for was my Spirit of Sancti. And I wanted one of those first generation seed grown Spirit of Sancti from Red Leaf Exotics. I had to have one. I sold something to get it. Something that I liked, that I could get money for. So, I mean, plant hoarding is a problem. So all this farming in Florida can be very stressful, and part of that stress is the certifying agencies. So we're biodynamic certified, we're organic certified, and we're real organic certified. I have my Real Organic Project certificate on farms, because they come to your farm and they inspect. Go through your books, ask you questions, this and that, this and that. It's pretty simple here. I keep it simple. So only thing we bring onto the farm to use for fertility is pine shavings. Pine shavings and grass hay. That's it. That's the only thing we purchase for fertility. But we make compost out of it, and I use it for bedding for the cows. That's why I get it. It's for the barn. So this is what I do, and then I apply it daily, and then I make biodynamic compost out of it, which I grow all our houseplants in. But the certifying stuff is like so stressful. I mean, it's like really stressful to me. Everything stresses me out, it seems, anymore. I get stressed out over the fruit. I get stressed out over the house sale. I get stressed out of everything. I picked the wrong profession of farming, obviously. But I like it. I like this wild, natural form of farming we do here. It's pretty self-explanatory. We don't believe that weeds and grass compete with our trees for nutrients, and we believe they provide the right pH in the soil and build soil so that our trees can express themselves naturally, so that we can get the best health benefits from naturally grown food. I'm shocked that people buy Korean farming fertilizers, natural farming, Korean natural farming. It's just like, okay. I try to turn everything back into the chemical farm system, like organic has been bought by the big chemical farmers for sure. So I don't think I'm going to continue with the organic. They try to scare everyone away from animal inputs, more or less, because they don't look at the management of the animals that creates the E. coli problem, the out of balance animal sewer pits they create. So because they don't look at the way the holistic management of the farm, they create out of balance systems and then blame it on the manure. No, it's not the manure, it's you for having allowing that to happen. And then they use water soluble fertilizers, hydroponics. I don't believe in that, so I'm just not going to do it. And the organic certification, it was the most stressful thing ever this past year, so I am definitely not going to do that. I have to send in my intent to stop certifying us as organic, but I'm going to keep my biodynamic certification. They've been nice. They've been up with me through all my drama and airing my stressfulness over certification, and they've just been very consistent, and they look at holistic management of cattle, and they align more with what I believe in. So the Real Organic Project, I'm not really sure what it is. It's like an add-on to organic, but I don't even know if I can stay Real Organic Project certified if I'm not organic certified, because I would think not, because you can't use the word organic unless it's your USDA. It's crazy. I don't know. I'll ask them when they get here. I don't really care. They don't stress me out. They want to do a video. I don't do videos of me. I just don't do it. I don't want people to know. I'm not camera ready. I really don't want the notoriety. So case somebody saw the videos. Real Organic Project does YouTube videos, but this year's video has been so freaking boring, and I've been kind of vocal about it. Yeah, we're glad you're interviewing all these old farmers that have been doing it for hundreds of years, or 20 years, or 30 years, the same way, growing their market gardens, providing food for people in restaurants. That's great, but I want to see the struggling young farmer on 2 acres. I want to see the interview of the rare tropical fruit farm that doesn't water in Florida, that's biodynamic. I don't want to see the monocrop blueberry farm. I mean, it's great, but like not the direction I see farming needs to go. That's Garcinia dulcis. I'm kind of geek out on rare tropical fruit trees. It's kind of why we started this, was for the Garcinias. In case anybody doesn't know, Garcinias is this family that the mangosteen is in, Garcinia mangostana, which is a cross between, I think, Garcinia hombroniana and another, I forget the name of it, Garcinia, but yeah, so we started this to grow Bolivian mangosteens, Garcinia humilis, the Achachiro. That's what that is. So got about 500 of those trees here, and everything's grown the same way, the identical way. We stay off the system. So when we moved here, it was all lawn and big trees. The people that lived here for 55 years never planted anything, or maybe they did, but it was all dead. So it was just lawn and chain link fence. And I'm sure that they were like spraying Roundup on that chain link fence from the 80s on. And using every bug spray and ant killer and hornet wasp killer they could think of. I'm sure they had to have been. If you don't have any plants and you don't have any wildlife, you're sure as hell not going to care about the bugs. So in Florida, they don't provide any wild space at all for any of the animals. And it's like, Florida's so crazy about the amount of wildlife here. It's just insane that there isn't huge parks dedicated to wildlife. Big strips from sea to inland lake. It's just, there's too much money in development. Way too much money. So I got some pretty rare fruit trees in here. There's an abiu tree. There's a Adamoya seedling from our fruit. There's like a bunch of different star apples in here. The Gulf Coast of Florida, I couldn't imagine. Porpine Island, I mean, that was like the epicenter of tropical fruit. The fungi here. This is my daily manure. It's the Ingus spectabilis, you know, the machete ice cream bean. This is just 2 years from seed, so it grows pretty fast. I planted a ice cream bean that's been fruiting in Brevard County for 10 years, or no, it's been fruiting for like 7 years. Fuilii, this tree right there, that's Inga fuilii. And it's been fruiting. It got toppled over from the hurricane, the recent hurricane in Grant. This is a mandarin, a cutie, a seedless cutie that had a seed in it, and that's the tree. Mandarin orange citrus. There's a star apple. They haven't flowered yet. They're all seed grown. I have a really rare one over here. It's like, people don't like this because they can't see their plants, you know. That's why it works, because I don't go in there looking for the plant. I have trails through here. This is a DPI Gold, seed grown star apple. None of this stuff's watered, and we had a horrible drought this summer. It probably saved a lot of our trees from falling over. So the big ice cream bean that I planted in Brevard County that's been fruiting forever, it fell over, but it was planted on fill. I think stuff planted on fill is more likely to fall over. You know, fill's dirt they bring in to build the property up. So they drive all over it and then put more dirt on top of it and drive all over that. And they usually put a lawn on it, which they mow with a tractor. So it's heavily compacted, multiple layers, deep layers of compaction. So I believe all the problems here are stemmed from compacted from mowing the lawn. So it's a shame to hear that tree fell over, but hopefully she got some seeds growing from it. I have some other stuff in here. I'm trying to think where it is. There it is. Cedar Bay cherries. Sorry, Australia. I did not like them. I'm glad I got it, but it has a weird mealy texture to it. But boy, they are healthy trees, and I'll take it if it's going to produce a fruit for me, or the birds. There's a bunch of stuff in here. There's more little seed-grown citrus. I'm gonna go look at those lemon trees, because that's a euro. Low nitrogen inputs favor fungal life in the soil. I think the best input you can get contains a biomineral from animal that we need for natural growing here in Florida, is the zebu manure. I mean, that's you know, the desi cows that they use in India, that they created the Ayurvedic medicine around, and developed alongside growing mangoes and jackfruit, which are two of my favorite fruits. And probably going to be our biggest money crop this year is the mango. I only have one jackfruit left. There's a cha-cha arrow. I had to chop a lot of the leaves off the bananas. A lot of them fell. Bananas with clumps on them fell. Some of them. Some made it. Yeah, I'm just not going to let anything bother me about the hurricanes are stressful. I mean, this is hurricane damage, or, you know, Hurricane Ian damage. It's like the third hurricane we've had here and come through near us in 7 years. So it's kind of a fact of life here in Florida. We have a beach house with 2.5 acres, and I would never stay in our beach house during a hurricane, ever. Kind of have to have a second house when you have waterfront property in Florida. Unless you don't mind living in rebuild mode. I don't know, it's just, I guess it's kind of extravagant for me to say that, but I'm old, and you know, I made the money myself. I didn't like steal it, so the whole farm thing, it's all, people have to make money off of it, but fortunately and unfortunately, I don't have to worry about it. Thank God. Thank God. key lime, this citrus, or not citrus, this banana. I have to go look at the citrus. I chopped this part off. That's why it looks so bad. Chop and drop. I do chop and drop when it gets in my way. That's when I chop stuff. Or if it's like just killing one of my plants. I have to draw the line somewhere. Or if it's a pepper tree. Oh, these mulberries are like putting it out again. Chiangmai 60. It doesn't have the best flavor. I'm not impressed with those. Look at these mushrooms. Yeah, I have all these trees that have the broken branches. I think it was the first year we were here, a storm came through. I forget the name of it, Matthew or something like that. First or second year we were here, and all the trees were like busted up, like. And so when it was lawn, I guess it was like the second or third year I was here. I forget. Anyway. I chopped up all the wood and distributed it to every tree, and then I stopped mowing. I move it around. I move carbon around. You have to. That's just part of farming. This is an oil nut tree from India. Not the Artocarpus, but it's India has a lot of important trees. It made sense for me to look to India for inspiration on how to grow and discover the zebus, the miniature zebus in our case. These are not the zebus, the Desi cow that you milk. These are miniature, the only true miniature breed of cow, Bo indicus. So they're not meant for milking. They're meant for just providing fertility. And I don't know, I think making me a better person. Definitely. It's a Garcinia humbroniana. Should go over here. This Garcinia is continuously fruit. Don't seem to mind the wind, and people want their fruit. Oh, the mosquitoes have been horrible. Horrible. Not sure what that is. I don't mark our trees. I can usually identify them, but I have some stuff that I planted that I'd never grown before. I bought seeds and planted and grew from seed, and I can recognize little achacha trees coming up like there, but and bananas, guavas and mangoes, cashews, but the champajacks and the jackfruit, trying to distinguish them is a little bit hard. I could recognize the pigeon pea, the mangoes, of course. The mosquitoes are so fierce, and I see some standing water there. That was a ditch. That was a ditch. That used to be a drainage ditch that never gets water in it. Had a little bit of water there. I don't want to walk there because I don't want to get bit by a water moccasin. So you never know in Florida. There's so many snakes. That's why it's probably a good idea I do a little bit more path. So there's mango. This cherry of the Rio Grande looked horrible during the drought, but it seems fine. This is a fruiting tree. It's got like black fruit on it. It's delicious. I love the cherry of the Rio Grande. I've been spreading it around. The mangoes that got froze, they're coming back. And the areas that where they froze are looking good, finally. It's a santal tree that didn't like the drought. Well, I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, but I want to make my way over to the citrus, and I want to kind of go through a different area. It's very jungle-like. It's a mango that froze. It's doing good. They're doing good. Kind of sprawled out there. It's a huge guava tree that just produces too much fruit, or you know, a fruit nonstop. It doesn't have any fruit on it at the moment, or flower, which is kind of surprising, but it's pushing out a lot of new growth. Got trash from the drought. This is that ditch. It only had a little tiny bit of standing water in it. Like, I'm talking like, see that? Doesn't even get it during the, there's a guava. Doesn't even get it during the, when it's raining. Like, we got 12 inches, I believe. It's like 12 inches during the storm, during Ian, of rain. And it didn't have standing water in there the next day. Just a little tiny bit. I could walk across it. It's like 2 inches deep, where it used to be a 20-foot wide ditch. That's because of this, the orchard floor, the weeds. Okay. So I guess I can't really sell lemons unless you get, I don't know. There's just so many rules on them. I know I can't ship them, and I know I can't haul them, but I can juice them and I can freeze dry them. And boy, are they nice lemons. I mean, they're just really nice lemons. There's little marks on them or pecks from the birds, but they seem okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I have I see some of the fruit has dropped off. When I'm gonna have like 200 of these citrus trees fruiting here, but I'm not even gonna worry about it. There's so much fruit on here. Good thing I use a lot of lemon. I cook with it every day, just about. Gotta spice up those vegan dishes. Look at all the fruit on this one little branch. These are seed-grown trees. This fruit didn't get attacked by the birds hardly either. Right there it did. Seed-grown lemons, Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. This is Florida Natural Farming. Have a beautiful day.